It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. Excited, thrilled to be here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm so lucky. Tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Lakers playing against the Kings out in Sacramento. Well, for Sacramento, coming off a loss in the first game of the season, they'll no doubt be anxious to put tonight's contest in the win column and avoid an 0-2 start. And as we take a few moments here, Shaq, the term basketball IQ is constantly thrown around these days. What exactly is meant by that? Because I don't have it.
Ernie, I have no
IQ.
idea. You know, you can be smarter than me if you want to. You can be a Rhodes Scholar, but you know what I will do to you. Doesn't necessarily mean you make good decisions on the basketball court. Basketball IQ, that term is overrated.
Maybe
Ernie.
Kenny has an answer to this
one.
Well,
I think most people, when they first hear about it, they're talking about seeing the floor, having the ability to operate in the flow.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for this NBA presentation. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke reporting on the sidelines. After this game, the Kings head back out on the road. And this matchup with the Lakers, it's their first meeting of the season. Last season, they had the upper hand in the series, going 3-1 against these guys.
And they won the season series against this club last year, but, you know, then again, so did a lot of other teams.
Hey, Greg, we got to be honest here, which is really the only way I roll. Neither of these teams are world beaters. But you got to start somewhere. A win tonight would be a step in the right direction.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. Taking a look at the Lakers. Nash and Bryant in the backcourt. At the forward slots, it's World Peace and Gasol. And it's Howard in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
And they are on the board first.
Trying to set the tone here early. I like that.
It's incredible to think that Pau Gasol last year set a career high in points in a game for as long clock as he's played. He had that 46-point game in January.
Yeah, that's 46 points for Pau to go with 18 rebounds. I mean, right. You rarely see a player of his age putting up a career high like that.
So it's Sacramento. 4-point game. Last game matched up with the Clippers. A tough loss there.
The offense just struggled mightily in that game. They went stretches where points just became very difficult to come by.
And ironically, their play wasn't that bad. It was just their shot making that went AWOL.
Shots good by McLemore.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
Now here's Howard. 20 points for him last game against Minnesota. And a strong finish with two hands.
Explosive leaping ability.
Oh, that was pretty. And he just has that effortless knack for getting inside.
And guys, how about how fearsome he is at times? I mean, you'd hate to be the guy tasked with guarding him.
Rondo gets the bucket.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low. And I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but boy, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Here's Gasol after Rajon Rondo's bucket. Bryant can't get it to go.
And really, despite that miss, they've had a solid start offensively.
And Doris Burke spoke with George Carl. Doris?
It's no secret that Steve Nash is the motor for their offense, and I asked him how he planned to slow him down. He said there really is no way to stop Nash from going where he wants, and they'll just try to rotate well to recover when they get that ball flying around on the offensive end.
Thanks again, Doris.
4 or 5 shots have dropped for them already. Not a bad way to get things started.
Feeds it to AC. The shot, no good. And the Lakers going the other way now. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way. And that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against a defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
And a lot of teams are looking for coaches that embrace analytics and look at data-driven approaches. Coach Scott is not one of those guys. He's an old-school coach who goes with his own perception.
4 on the clock. Here's Rondo. Rebound by Meta World Peace.
And although he doesn't quite get the block, he does get the missed field goal attempt because of his ability to alter the shot.
Well, almost as effective as a block. I mean, made him completely change his release point, and I think that caused the miss.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Caspi comes in for Quincy Acey, and it's Collison in for Rajon Rondo. The Lakers also with a sub. Hill, he's checked in for Dwight Howard. And former Coach of the Year Byron Scott now with the Lakers. And as you said, Greg, he's not an analytics guy. And Clark, I think he's a guy that the eye test for him is huge.
Yeah, he feels a lot. Terrific communicator and storyteller. Great experience as a player and as a champion. And I think that all is evident in his coaching style.
And Kobe throws it down hard.
And they keep going down low with the ball and keep getting positive results.
Extremely positive. I mean, this is a very nice lead to have early in the ball game.
So the Kings call timeout. They're first.
And they've gotten good looks, you know, so that's one reason they're frustrated. Maybe he can come up with something to get them an easy one. Maybe get to the line.
Yeah, you know, that may be the answer for them. But you know what else, Greg? Ultimately, I think because they're getting good shots, they'll make a better percentage of them going forward.
Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. Kufis checked in for Cousins. And it's Bellinelli in for Ben McLemore.
Huge hole in the defense that possession. He didn't waste any time cutting through it.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles.
Yeah, saw some things that just weren't working for them and wants to make some adjustments.
Yeah, and no reason to wait around to do that, Greg. I mean, might as well make those adjustments right away.
2 straight seasons of no playoffs for the Lakers after last year's miss. Not what they were hoping for.
It's going to be a growing process, Kevin. I mean, they had a young team and an injured superstar in Kobe both years. Hard to make the playoffs in that situation.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Robert Sacre, he's checked in for Nance. World Peace comes in for Nick Young. Kobe's checked in for Williams. And Morris subbed in for Russell. The Kings trail by 10. Now here's Collison. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Clippers.
And also give him credit for his ability to pass the basketball. He was always looking for the open man.
And guys, for the Lakers, you'd have to go back almost 40 years to find the time when the Lakers missed the postseason in back-to-back years. Fortunately for them, they won 2 titles in the next 6 years after that.
And it's doubtful that the Lakers will win multiple titles in the coming years unless something drastic happens. Still, this is a franchise committed to success, and they'll do whatever it takes to get back into the postseason. It's taken them no time to build this lead up. Great first quarter offensively.
But no time to relax here. They've got to keep the pressure on with the defense, and I think they've got to try to put this one away early.
Now, here's Kufis. His last outing, he had 8 points. 58 seconds left in the first quarter. On the wing, Bryant. Bellinelli is covering. Gay with the block. But they get it back. From 8. That one off the back iron and out. Lakers leading by 8. Sacre kicks to Kobe. He feeds it to Sacre. Lets it go from the wing. It's hauled in by the Kings. Now Collison. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. It's stolen by Morris. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Throwing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Lakers shooting their first free throws tonight. The first trip to the stripe in this one.
Yeah, last year, collectively, only 74% from the line.
And I know the free throw shooting is an area they focused on improving coming into this season.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
Sacre with the block. For 3, Hill. And that's not going to go. And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Lakers on top. And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to a lot of criticism, but he says he takes comfort in playing the game. It's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
That's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And taking a look at the Lakers' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing in the game?
You know, it's been about how solid they've been offensively here, really tuned in with one another.
Good ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard.
So the Lakers 5 right now. We've got Williams, hands out there with Hill, then it's Russell, and it's Young in at the 3 spot. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Lakers?
Tell you what, guys, they're showing us a lot of energy early on and racking up those fast break points.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
Quincy Aces checked in for Sacramento. McLemore dishes to Rondo. An easy layup after coming off the pit.
Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
And one thing, and very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. 6 to shoot. Rondo passes to Ace. And there's the feed to Cousins.
Cutting into that lead a little bit. Way to finish.
And the basket is still shaking.
Oh, I mean, he has got power in bunches on that two-hand.
You know, when you look at DeMarcus Cousins, he's clearly one of the more talented and also one of the most emotional players in the game. He's also one of the most teed up.
Los Angeles calls timeout. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Rudy Gay's checked in for Casper. Yeah, talking about Cousins' top 5 in technical fouls in each of his first 5 seasons. Among other things, that's given away a ton of free points, guys, to the opposition.
Yeah, DeMarcus is working hard to control that temper, and he knows it's important for the team. But it's hard to plug a volcano. And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Now here's McLemore outside. Good. And it's Rondo who picks up the assist. McLemore's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Kings. Here's Gasol. Leaves it up and in off the pretty assist. Gasol's got his first points in this one.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
Gay outside. Back to Cousins. Fades away. No luck. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. They've held a 12-point lead earlier.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
And that's a good place to start if you're going to try to find your way back into this game. Get to work on the glass. Major league big boy throwdown right there.
And he keeps a tight grip on that rim after the finish.
Yeah, maybe that'll give them a little bit of that swagger that they seem to have lost.
Nash with the bucket. Well, the main problem last year for the Kings, Greg, their defense. Just couldn't slow teams down on their end of the court, and it cost them.
Yeah, listen, a lot of it had to do with the defensive problems overall. They were pretty much in the bottom 10 of every major defensive category and dead last in blocks as well.
Timeout called by the Kings.
And you said it. I mean, the Kings had a tough time on defense. They also gave up the most fast break points in the league. I mean, they had a tough time getting back and defending in transition.
Sacramento making some changes. Kufis checked in for Cousins. Bellinelli comes in for Ben McLemore. And it's Collison in for Rajon Rondo. And it's the Kings with the ball. They trail by 9 points.
And the Kings were last in fast break points allowed. As you mentioned, what is odd was that there were rumors last season that the front office wanted to try out cherry picking on purpose. Pretty sure that's one of the worst ideas to try out in the NBA. And I think it's fair to say last season was a bit of a transition year for the Kings. I mean, after firing Malone and the injuries to their stars, they just tried to build for the future, realizing that was going to be in their best interest.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
That's right. 5 of their last 6 makes were on the interior. They've established their inside presence.
And that one's good.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Deep 2 from Collison. And again, it's Sacramento converting. And the Kings last year were able to get George Karl to lead the team. A good hire for them. This team did decent under him back in the last half of the season.
Yeah, they still got a lot of work to do, but he can certainly make it happen for him. One of the outstanding coaches in our league. The Kings actually were in it for a while last year, but then had a mini rebuild mid-season.
And there's a whistle that goes on Darius Morris. That's his first foul. Sacramento making some changes. Cauley Stein comes in for Quincy Acey. And it's Caspian for Rudy Gay. We've got 1:23 left to play in the first half. And Hill over to help. 6 on the shot clock. And so it looks like the Kings will retain possession here.
And with a moment, let's check out the stats for Collison. He had a strong showing last season. Put up about 16 points a game, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. They're loving how he's running the show here. His sensational passing really breathing life into their offense.
You know, the scheme just seems to run much more smoothly when he's in the game because he knows where everybody is at all times.
Caspi for 3. Hill gets the rebound.
With the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in control of this game.
And no doubt about it, rebounding is an effort stat, folks. They've been more determined than their opponent thus far.
A platoon swap here for the Lakers. 1:04 left here in the second. Here's Gasol. Oh, and he misses the dunk. The Kings trail by 12. Outside Collison to the wing on the left. That's a 2 from Bellinelli. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison.
Shooting much better here in the second quarter.
Yes, very, very impressed with how much more alive they look here to get back in.
And World Peace kicks to Kobe. Puts it up from 12, and it's out of bounds, and they say last touch by Bryant.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Collison kicks to Kufis. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Bellinelli, covered by World Peace, to the left wing. Kufis with it. He dishes it to Caspi. Outside Collison. Pass to Bellinelli. Back to Collison. And some nice defense there to end the quarter. And so...
Kobe, what encourages you in what you've seen from the team's offense?
We're playing hard. You know, our bigs are really working tonight. You know, they're really running the floor well. You know, they're rolling to the basket with a purpose.
Kobe. Appreciate the time as always. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hi again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Welcome to the halftime show on 2K Sports. The first quarter was all about Kobe Bryant. He had 12 points and 1 rebound. And taking a look at the Lakers, Shaq, what'd you think?
The job that guys have done in the post have been terrific. If they get more of that production in the paint next half, they'll be very tough to beat. They're taking advantage of the late rotations, and they're going right inside and straight to the rim.
And Kenny, what'd you see from Sacramento?
One problem is that they didn't show enough aggressiveness on the boards. When you start losing a game, that's when you're supposed to tighten up and toughen up. Your pride has to be challenged, and you need to rise to the occasion. They've got to be more aggressive as a team, and that will cut into the lead.
That does it for halftime, as the game is just about set to get going again. We send you back to Kevin Harlan and crew for the third quarter.
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Kobe Bryant really making a difference here.
You just love it when the decision-making is as good as it was there in that first half. Didn't force anything.
Guys, I think here in the second half, though, they may want him to be a little more assertive. Start hunting more for his shot, even the tough one.
McLemore and Gay on the perimeter. DeMarcus Cousins out there with Quincy Acey. And it's Rondo in at point guard. That's the group for George Karl getting going here in the second half. Well, Dwight Howard had that back surgery, and he's had knee trouble, and he is no longer... quite as dominant Clark as a player we saw back in certainly his younger days in Orlando.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Kevin, he's still in the conversation for best centers in the NBA. I think he remains a superstar big man when he's healthy.
Here's Kobe, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. It's on DeMarcus Cousins. Clark, another milestone for Kobe Bryant last season. He reached 30,000 points and 6,000 assists, and no one else has ever done that.
Well, it's rare that you see scores of that volume reach an assist total that high, but I think it speaks to Kobe's passing ability, which is undervalued and overshadowed at times.
And then Cousins with the dunk.
No doubt about it. He has done a ton to help his team, but he's going to have to do even more if they want to have a chance to get back in this. Almost uncontested. I mean, it's nice to be able to add to the lead without having to really work for it. And Kobe Bean Bryant, the only 30,000-point scorer to go along with 6,000 assists. You know, LeBron might be the next in line to join Kobe in that category.
Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
You have to love the ball movement. And for Kobe, people have always joked that he's a ball hog and only looks to score. Well, he's the only guy in the history of the league right now with 30,000 points to go along with 6,000 assists. So obviously gifted as a playmaker as well.
Right side Gasol. And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half. Good. Three.
for 3, and that's always a good way to start the second half.
Rondo against Nash. They set the pick. Kicks to Gay. Just 5 on the clock. Screen by Cousins. And stolen by Howard. And here we go. For the finish, the big dunk at the end of the break.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Nash against Rondo. Pass to Cousins. It falls for the 6th time in 7 tries this contest. That's 86%.
And former Coach of the Year George Karl making his way back into the league last season. Kings picked him up halfway through the year to kind of stabilize their coaching situation.
Assist from Meta World Peace.
A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Rondo kicks to AC. Dishes it to Cousins. Count that one as his 7th make in 8 attempts. He is a scorching 86%.
And just a nice combination of size and feel there. Terrific finish down low.
The shot by Kobe, no good.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
Pass to AC. Now here's McLemore. He's guarded closely. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits. Nash outside. Here's world peace. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assists. And it's 7 points for Meta World Peace.
And he is the ultimate when it comes to being a floor leader on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little bit of Greg Anthony in it. And he has been that leader today. I think he's done a really nice job of moving the ball and distributing it the way it needs to be done.
Well, Clark, I'm glad you referenced specifically why you thought he had a little Greg Anthony. I thought you were talking about my knees, my man. 'Cause he looked a little hobbled out there for a moment.
Here's Cousins. The rebound by Meta World Peace. World Peace has got his 4th rebound in this one. Bryant drives in, and that one's good. Bryant's got 18 points in the game.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team. And last season, the Lakers finished last in the Pacific Division once again. 2nd year in a row, they ended up at the bottom of the barrel.
AC misses.
Good little 2-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
Left side, Kobe. Outside, Gasol. Just 5 to shoot. Back to world peace. The Lakers need to get a shot off here. There's the bucket. Good. And it's 7 points for Nash. And the Lakers were at the bottom once again in the Pacific Division, Clark. But, you know, these 2 seasons we've just seen, the last time they finished last in the Pacific was 1975.
Well, they had a 2-14 record against the rest of the Pacific. And we also know, though, the Lakers don't stay down very long. They'll be back on top before long.
Gasol goes in. Sacramento grabs the miss. Rondo kicks to Gay. Puts it up from 7 and misses it off the right side of the rim. Lakers leading by 19 points. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's world peace. That's in, coming off an assist by Kobe. 9 points for Meta World Peace.
That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist.
Rondo against Nash. Outside Rondo. And it goes as the official calls the foul. count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Los Angeles calls timeout.
And guys, the Lakers last season were just a completely different team after Kobe's injury. Not so much in results, but just in how they played on the floor. They actually fared better without Kobe than most thought they would.
And for the Lakers without Kobe last season, it was really a stark difference in styles of play and quality. No single person, Clark, stepped in to carry their offense. It took a group effort.
Well, you know, it was almost April, Kevin, before somebody surpassed Kobe in field goal attempts on the team. It'll be interesting to see how they build the offense this year.
And on the court for the Lakers to start the fourth, we've got Hill. Darius Morris is out there with Lou Williams. Then there's Robert Sacre, and it's Young in at the 3 slot.
You know, the teardrop sometimes is one of those, oh no, oh yeah shots.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Yeah, and I like this call because you want the refs in that situation. If there's any doubt, err on the side of giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. That should have been a block, and it was.
Here's Collison. And there's the pass to Bellinelli. And the 3 off target.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall.
The Kings trail by 16. Inside, it's tipped. It's stolen by Hill. And now here comes Williams leading the break. And Young with the basket on the assist by Williams. And the Lakers lead by 18. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Lakers.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
Koufos dishes to Cauley-Stein. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, guys, in a draft that had a lot of top-tier big men as the top picks, Willie Cauley-Stein is a little bit the forgotten man, if you will. But he can be a very impactful player now and down the road as well.
DeMarcus Cousins is checked in for Sacramento. Ben McLemore comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Morris with the bucket.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass.
Sacramento calls timeout.
Start it.
Timeout called by the Kings. Lou Williams won the 6th Man Award last year, Clark, in the NBA. He's not a playmaker, although he kind of plays that position a little bit. This guy scores the ball very well coming off the bench.
He really does. I mean, he looks like a guard because of his size, but he's truly an explosive scorer. And that's the strength of his game, and that's who he is and what he does.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Hey, guys. Well, George Karl had some advice for the team in that last huddle. He was intent on running the offense through DeMarcus Cousins. Coach would like to see him utilized in the offense as much as possible. We can expect to see them going to him constantly. Something else he mentioned is that he's giving them the green light on offense. He wants to see a high volume of shots. With the minutes ticking down and the deficit still a big one, those adjustments have to be a chance worth taking, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. And the dunk by AC.
You know, there are a lot of bigger power forwards than him in the NBA, but very few that rise up like he can.
You know, and when you look at Lou Williams, he's always had a shooting guard skill set in kind of a point guard's body. Now, he's not just a long-range bomber. He will attack the basket and earn his share of trips to the foul line, and that's where he's really deadly. 86% from the stripe last season. Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
And Kobe Bryant again. Kobe's got 22.
And, you know, back to Williams, sometimes it's better to own one thing, be a master at that, than try to fit a round peg into a square hole. I mean, he's not a really good passer. Never has been. That's not who he is. But he can heat up quickly as a scorer. And that's the side where you put jelly and butter on his toast.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Yeah, double-digit advantage on the scoreboard. They've taken the initiative. They've played, I think, with more purpose so far.
Gay against World Peace. And once again off the mark by Sacramento. Lakers leading by 23. Bryant, that's for 2. And Howard, here we go. Back to Bryant. And he gets the bucket. Kobe's got 8 here in the quarter.
Oh, they are putting the hammer down. A huge lead right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about their offense or their defense. I mean, it's all been good.
Collison, the pass to Gay. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. Collison's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. And Bryant wide open. He shoots, sinks the three-pointer. Kobe's got 29 in the game.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's key to this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
Gay sets the pick for Collison. At the elbow, it's Cousins. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
It's really been a tale of 2 halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Cauley Stein, he's checked in for Quincy Ace. Caspi comes in for Rudy Gay. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Ben McLemore. And Curry subbed in for Darren Collison. For Sacramento, they've gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the 4th. 4 of 9. And D'Angelo Russell picks up the foul.
You know, something that's floating around in the sports world and in the NBA is reseeding after the playoffs start. And for those of you who may not understand the situation, it's simply saying that no matter what, it would play the lower seeded team, however you get to those numbers.
Kufis checked in for Sacramento. And with that whole concept of playoff reseeding, so often we'll see a 2nd or 3rd seed team get a 6th or 7th seed team in the 2nd round. Meanwhile, Greg, the top seed plays the 4th seed no matter what.
You know, I think in a few cases it would have made a major difference in how the playoffs would have played out. And quite frankly, I think it also puts more value on the regular season if that number 1 seed could play a 7th seed, if you will, in the 2nd round. So I think that's something that the commissioner and the competition committee might want to reassess.
Here is Caspi. He's guarded by Howard. No good from Caspi.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Lakers.
2 great rebounding teams, Clark.
Yeah, and these guys just worked a little bit harder tonight. That was the edge that was needed.
And so with this, they'll end up with their 2nd win on the year.
They can chalk this one up, but these 2 teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And, Greg, we know familiarity breeds contempt. I would expect things to become more heated as these teams face each other going forward.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Kobe Bryant. He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand. And really, if this had come just a little earlier, they may have been able to get back into the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. They needed this a lot sooner than they got it.
Out to Nash. The dish to Howard. They can't stop the run with that one. So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, I'm here with Steve Nash. You guys faced a team tonight that really gave a strong effort, yet you were able to overcome them in the end to pick up this victory.
You know, we knew that we had to find a way to stick with it. At the end of the game, you just try to hang with it for your team and try to make plays for your team. And guys are making plays at both ends of the floor, and we played pretty good basketball.
Steve, we appreciate the time. Kevin?
Doris, thank you as always.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaq and the Jet as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kobe Bryant. He had just an outstanding fourth-quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him, and down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game. And how'd you feel about his performance, Shaq?
Look, how many times have we seen games like this from Kobe? He was the primary option. They needed a bucket. He delivered. His game has evolved in the last few years, but the recipe was working tonight.
Well, he reminded us all of how dangerous he is as a slasher. He drove the lane time and time again and got points inside to show for it. An explosive, hard-charging performance. I loved it.
And, folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille